So, buongiorno a tutti, buenos días a todos, good morning everybody, welcome to Rome, those coming from abroad, and welcome to the Pontifical Atheneum Regina Apostolorum University, where the UNESCO Chair in Bioethics in Bioethics and Human Rights is established. My name is Alberto Garcia. I'm the chairholder of the UNESCO Chair in Bioethics and Human Rights. And I would like to welcome you for this workshop in which we will try to discuss and to share our reflections on the Neurobioethical perspectives on informed consent. I will give you some very brief introductory words to the workshop and to the UNESCO Chair in Bioethics and Human Rights, and also to the I-Consent project, that is a European project. I apologize for starting late this workshop. We hope some other participants will come soon, but I think we have to start. The UNESCO Chair in Bioethics and Human Rights was established in 2009, and the two universities are in this campus. One is the Regina Apostolorum Pontifical University, where we have the schools of theology, philosophy, and bioethics. We have the whole program in bioethics. And the second university in this same campus is the European University of Rome, where we have the schools of law, psychology, business administration, education, and psychology. As the result of the cooperation between both universities, the UNESCO Chair was established in 2009 through an agreement of the General Director of UNESCO and our two presidents of the universities. In the mission of the UNESCO Chair, we summarize as fostering the art of convergence and cooperation in global ethics. And we identify from the very beginning some areas of interest that we would like to go deeper and to promote activities of education or research and dissemination of knowledge. Among the 4 areas we have already activated, we have 2 of them that relate directly to the I-Consent project. One is the group of neurobioethics that was established almost 10 years ago, and that is coordinated by Father Alberto Carrara, that I appreciate very much his work during these years and his collaboration with this I-Consent project. Thank you, Father Alberto. And the second area of interest is on bioethics, multiculturalism, and religion, trying to gather in experts in bioethics from different religions to discuss about bioethical issues in the light of human rights. This workshop that will take place today, it's basically focused on the first area, neurobioethics and informed consent. And when 1.5 years ago, we accepted to participate in the consortium of I-Consent, we thought we could offer some innovative contributions to the topic of I-Consent. The European Union has identified some gaps, barriers, and things that we can improve, or we should improve in Europe regarding informed consent. And that's why one of the perspectives we wanted to study deeper was on the neurobioethical perspective. So how neuroscience, neurotechnologies, and neurobioethics can help and can improve the guidelines on informed consent at European level. Actually, the title of the project, as probably you know, it's improving the guidelines on informed consent including vulnerable populations under a gender perspective. In this project is coordinated by the Foundation FISA-Bio from Spain, from Valencia, and I appreciate very much Jaime Fons that is working in the coordination team. And our specific task as UNESCO Chair was to work on the ethical aspects of informed consent, and our task consists of analyzing the ethical issues concerning informed consent in translational and clinical research. So in this task, we have been collaborating and also with GSK, that is one of the partners of the project. And I appreciate Maria Cubillos from Madrid, Spain, participating in the workshop, and in the preliminary work has been done to facilitate the discussion among the different experts. Thank you very much for coming from different places, and I hope that this is not sunny, rainy, we don't know exactly what day in Rome will be pleasant for you, and we will enjoy with the discussion. I told you at the beginning that the mission of the UNESCO Chair is fostering the art of convergence. So the interaction and the dialogue among you experts in the field, I think it will contribute to the final report we will elaborate for the project, and I hope that will be also inspiring for you, your research in the future. In this preliminary work and the working document you received some weeks ago, Professor Mirko Grassi has been a key role player, and I want to give him the floor to introduce the task we are going to do today, and also to start the moderation or the facilitating the first roundtable. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. It's obviously a pleasure and an honor to be here. As Alberto said, the idea of this workshop is very much that of following the mission of the UNESCO Biochair, namely that of establishing new collaboration, dialogues within and between different disciplines. Obviously, connecting it to our IVANSEN project, we thought that strengthening this neurobioethical dimension, which is what we will be discussing in this workshop, was necessary because of the developments that neuroscience has had in so many fields. Certainly, informed consent should be reflecting those studies, and so it's very stimulating for us to have you here. Just a quick reminder of the structure that we had in mind. You received a hopefully helpful working document that should have helped you somehow have some ideas on what we had in mind and some of our thoughts on how to start the discussion. Of course, we don't want to limit it to it. You can, and you did already with your written contributions, contribute by exploring new aspects to be taken into account and to speculate over. The idea here is to have for each panel 3 speakers, 3 or more, with a time slot of roughly 20 minutes. So to leave enough room for discussion within all the participants, which we hope very much to be productive and stimulating for all. Having said that, given that we are a bit behind, as Alberto said, I might start. You want to add something?
Yes, only as I'm a lawyer, a couple of things. First of all, we are recording these conversations. If you agree that that could be something that we can do available to the, especially for the group internally, that can be material that we can reflect on after to improve the report. And if you agree, also to be disseminated, that could be a second option. So I would like you to tell us if you have any objection to the registration. We can of course record it but not use it. And the second is that according to the policies and the procedures of the European Commission, we will circulate an informed consent form for you, in which you will have to sign, if you agree, that you are participating in this workshop. It's a kind of, it was funny when we were discussing with our coordinator at the European Commission. It seems like you and me are like subjects of the experimentation in this workshop. So we have to give this formality that I will circulate this informed consent form during the day. And having said that, have the floor.
Thank you again. Well, okay, so let's start. Just another thing. It's up to you. Our idea is to have the panel in charge, so to speak, on this side, and you can step over here if you like. There is, in case you're planning to use the PowerPoints, there is a remote control. But in case you wanna, keep sitting in your seat, feel free to do so as you prefer. It's rather informal. So it's a great pleasure and an honor to start with, well, a panel that I would define representative of the Italian Society of Neuroethics, which is rather a pleasure and an honor for the Athenaeum to have here. Very pleased to see your colleagues and friends and international experts that have written plenty on relevant topics. I would perhaps start with Elisabetta Sir Giovanni, who
Okay. So, okay, just to start, I will speak about, yes, informed consent and neuroethics. And as you know, I mean, neuroethics has recognized informed consent as a crucial notion to interrogate neurocognitive sciences for more empirically driven reformulations in bioethics since the very beginning. These are to classic works from the neuropsychiatrist Georg Nordhoff about the topic in 2006 and 2009. As you know, informed consent is a very crucial notion, a pivotal notion in research ethics and medical ethics, because its lack is considered to be one of the worst forms of negligence, malpractice, or tort by healthcare professionals. So it's an essential requirement for prevention of the patient's personal autonomy against the dominance and abusive conduct, because, you know, I mean, the goals of informed consent are protecting the patients from harm, paternalistic judgments, or external interests. But it is a protection for medical doctors as well, because the physicians can improve their diagnosis. They ensure fiduciary responsibilities, but it's also important to avoid future legal actions. So I think that informed consent is an intrinsically interdisciplinary notion. It is obvious to say that it's tied to philosophical views about moral agency and autonomy. And this is because it requires a present state of individual autonomy or a series of conditions according to which the patient's decisions are thought to be her own. But informed consent, it implies both the patient's capacity of self-government, so moral agency, and the right to be free to exercise such self-government that we usually call legal autonomy. So this means, this is why I wrote Moral Philosophy, Cognitive Neuroscience and Law, because that informed consent is and should be driven by empirical descriptions and in normative formulations together. So it's an integration between these different dimensions, philosophical, neuroscientific, and law. So the focus on my talk today is informed, voluntary, and decisionally capacitating consent in the medical setting. So I want to speak about incapacitated patients, and I will deal especially with the patient's decision-making processes. So I will speak from the patient's perspective, not the doctor's perspective. And the issues that I will deal with are cognitive biases and self-deceptive processes that may affect the patient's choice and autonomy. But I will also refer to the capacity of self-government as what usually referred to as the neurocognitive capacity of self-control. This is because